Today's session is titled Learning, Technology and the Human Spirit, How Can AI in Education Build a Culture of Coexistence? So I invite you today to think about how education can remain purposeful and value-driven in a day and age where technology is everywhere. Now, it's a great pleasure to welcome Dr. Laith Al Taee, who is the Vice Chancellor of the Emirates College for Advanced Education.
Thank you. It's a really deep pleasure to be with you today as part of this very special Abrahamic Family House and to be with bright minds. I can see the curiosity in your eyes. I can see the thirst for knowledge and for dialogue and positive thinking, co-creating the future of coexistence and discussing elements which are very close to our heart, such as education, humanity, and the role of AI.
I want to start with a question: how can we making sure that we use the technology in a positive and a good way?
Without a doubt, technology is changing the future of work, the future of education. For sure, us as educators, we need to keep up with this change in technology. We need to keep up with the change in generations. Technology is changing at a rapid pace. We need to keep up with this technology. But the depth of education still remains to be human. The presence of a teacher, of an educator, of a role model is still very much important. So while technology is a tool that is enabling us to really find information, the teachers are helping us really evaluate this information that is coming to us, assessing, critically thinking, having a dialogue. So the role of an educator changes from a person who transmits knowledge to a person who actually coaches, mentors, nurtures. So as part of the 2071 plan, there are 50 principles that guided this plan. The first of these principles is human centricity. This is something that I take very seriously, being a systems thinker, a person who believes in the synergy of getting great minds together to co-create the future of education. So we looked at what are the values that are most important to educators. What are the main pain points that they are feeling and they would like us to address. It was not only competency-based, it was actually value and identity anchored. So we started with values, and then we really looked at knowledge and skills. Like Sheikh Zayed, the founder of this nation, said, knowledge is important, but knowledge without ethics will take us nowhere. And of course, at the heart of everything that we do at the college is student voice and student agency. We want to amplify the voice of students by activating the student council, by having a youth council, by having these dialogues constantly with our students. I think it is very clear that the UAE, even from the founding of this country, we've always believed that the UAE is a country that is built on diversity. It's a country that is built on respect. It's a country that is built in coexistence because we believe that together we can achieve more. We've been involved with the Ministry of Education on several workshops on what kind of characteristics really define an Emirati educator. And one of them is really about respect and coexistence and tolerance. So this is something that we grew up with from our founding fathers and are passing on as we go forward. The educator's role is very important. If the foundation is not there, if the teachers of the future, if we don't instill these values in our students and the teachers of the future, then it's going to be really hard. Education is at the heart of coexistence. Education is at the heart of any change that you would like to do in a nation.
Could you actually highlight some other of these youth projects that are really promoting dialogue between the younger generation?
More than 50% of our population is youth. So such programs such as the Global Youth Ambassador Program are very important platforms to harness the skills of youth. They are the ones where original ideas come from. They are the ones who are very much in touch with what's going on in the world. I really truly and strongly believe in the power of youth to change nations and to advance nations. The UAE was one of the first countries that appointed a minister of youth, and that was really to signify the importance of this segment of people towards communities and societies.
What would you say are the 3 key skills or the 3 key mindsets that the youth need these days to be successful in their life?
We need to make sure our education is very much human. So let's see if I can actually put them in 3. It's going to be a mix of having critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Secondly, it's really about emotional intelligence and empathy. And third, it's really about agility, being adaptable to change, and being resilient and strong and not letting, the least of things knock you down.
I would like now to open the floor for our participants.
We are living in the era of high advancement of technology. How we can teach our kids or our young generation to balance between the technology advancement with the moral and emotional intelligence?
If we have a clear understanding of who am I as a person, what are my beliefs, what are my values, what do I stand for, the foundation has to be there and has to be really clear. We have to instill a moral compass in each of our children, one that really can evaluate, can look at information critically, can evaluate, can assess, can connect, can develop, can have a conversation, communicate. So our role as teachers is really to help our students understand who they are. Because if they understand who they are, they will be able to play active role in their societies. They will be active global citizens and productive ones.
This topic specifically is very key to understand the transition between, let's say, learning path and the self-education, that we were going to the libraries for a knowledge, stay maybe 5 hours to find 100 books and to learn. But now we have only the ChatGPT, just to click 3 words and it gives you everything.
We just concluded a training of 500 teachers during the week of GITEX on the use of AI. But guess what? One of the modules is completely on ethics. It's completely on the human equation of using AI. So I believe it is very important. What I love about, maybe you heard about the Ministry of Education introducing AI into the curriculum of our students. What I love is they're covering 7 elements. One of them is identity, values, and ethics. So although it is artificial intelligence, but how can we look at artificial intelligence without really losing value of learning how to learn? Technology is a tool, but it is us who give this tool meaning. We're using technology to enable, to support humanity, not the other way around. The future is now for the ones who can work with machine. If we're only focusing on knowledge and if we're only focusing on specialization, we're creating machines. But if we are focusing on empathy, on connection, and knowledge, values, and skills, then we are creating what is valuable for humanity.
How can you stop social media from affecting and pushing people in different directions, that they're pleasing others, not they're pleasing themselves?
This is really why it is more than educator's role. The educator's role in the classroom is to really understand the passion of that student and to mentor the students to fulfilling their passion. The parent's role is also very important. In early childhood, the mind of the kid is mostly formed in early years. This is why now we're working with DCD, Department of Community Development, on a program which is called Parents as Educators. How can they mentor? How can they coach? How can they tap into the passion of their child?
ChatGPT is only as good as the data that it's trained on. It's got lots of biases in it, and it's very Western-based as well. So how can we be a bit more cynical while using it as an efficiency tool?
We established a clear understanding that education in its current form will not continue because education is changing. The access to these tools are changing the landscape. That's why we felt it is very important to focus on looking for information while evaluating the validity of this information.
Do you think that all the information taken from social media, taken from the internet, are authentic, that we can rely on and insert them in our academic studies?
Of course, this information is not authentic and it needs to be validated, it needs to be verified. We need to have the human mind to critically evaluate, authenticate the information that is presented to us. That's why I feel the AI is a tool. But with this tool, we need to harness the power of critical thinking, to harness the power of evaluating the information that we're receiving, and to authenticating this information. And this is a big responsibility that we have as parents. I believe that we have to lead by example. We have to model dialogue. We have to have an open conversation. We have to listen. Through this conversation, we will reach the outcome that is desired of having a confident learner and a global citizen that is contributing to the future of the nation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mai.